You can watch me when I fall, when I cry, when I get shot, when I go to jail, when I die. You can watch.
MAKAVELI in this.
Your homie Gab is in the building.
Y'all, this Big True, producer representing 93, rocking with Gab on MAKAVELI Media. Peace out.
Just a couple of motherfuckers that I know, we strictly representing.
So, True, I got another question for you, man. Where you was at, what was going through your mind when you first heard that Tupac was shot in Vegas and would later succumb to his injuries?
I think that day when he passed away, it was like I was going somewhere, and then I heard shed so many tears, and I just pulled over because I already knew.
What kind of friendship did you guys have?
And we had some good times. I mean, some really good times. But back then, nobody could tell me he was going to be the biggest star he was. Because, I mean, back then, it was just normal to me. You know, Pop was in the studio. He do a song in 5 minutes. The song was done in 5 to 10 minutes. And it's good. But Pop was a cool person. It's like, we go to Hollywood, whatever. We'll be in the studio, do a song. Afterwards, we go to Rocco's Chicken and Waffles. Then we go hang out. Boom, back in the studio. That's all we did was to the studio. Was the music. He'd been in the studio. His passion was in the studio doing songs.
So True, how many tracks you think you recorded with Tupac? I know that we talked about 93 representing, but it sounds to me, I'm sure that you guys did, more joints than that. You know what I mean?
Basically, I did 4. 2 of them I never heard of. 2 of them I haven't heard since. As a matter of fact, it was some beat called State of Emergency. That one, and it was one other one. As a matter of fact, the other one, I think Pac did without me. It was a sample I used, whatever, but then either he was in jail or something happened, whatever, and I was like, well, damn, Pac, you did something without me. He's like, well, True, you weren't there.
Right.
I did the sample and everything, so, I totally understood it. But the song, State of Emergency, I haven't heard since. And then, for my niggas in the pen, we did that in 92, September. On my birthday, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, me and Mouse got the same birthday.
Okay, yeah, that's dope. Niggas in the Pen, that's a serious joint right there with Mouse Man, Pac, and the Wicked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mo Preem, shout outs to Mo Preem, shout outs to Mouse Man as well. Wow, I didn't know you did that. That's crazy.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we were in Studio B, and Ice Cube and the Listen album in Studio A. And at that particular studio, when I first went to the studio, I walked in there, I seen a platinum plaque from Bill Biv DeVoe album. I'm like, damn, they recording here? Okay. I seen the plaque. I said, I need one of those plaques. And Pac was like, bro, you finna get one of these. He said, man, the album's going platinum. And I couldn't think what it was. But Pac said the album's going platinum. I'm like, okay, I believe you. But I was like, the album's going platinum.
Right. You didn't see all that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, it's just the whole fact that Pac would say something and then it just happened. I mean, it's like he would know shit. I'm like, how the fuck did he know this shit? He would just, shit, you'd be like, damn, how did he know this? He would just predict shit and it would have happened.
Wow, he was speaking into fruition.
Yeah, exactly.
That's dope, man. That is crazy. So, real fast, True, how did you feel about Tupac first signing the Death Row Records? What was your honest opinion about that?
Well, when I first heard about it, right, I thought it was a win. Because Pac, he wanted to be part of something, a big machine like Death Row. At that time, Death Row was big.
Oh yeah, so, no doubt.
I thought it was a good move. Some folks thought it was a bad move because of Suge, this and Suge. No, Suge got shit done. To me, it was a good move. And I think Pac used that as a springboard, but he just never got a chance to get further from that. Because I don't think he could have signed with any of the label that put him in the spot that he was in.
Oh yeah, they definitely put the spotlight on him. You know what I mean? And he knew what to do with it. So it was a win-win. You know, in that regard. You know what I mean? As far as the growth of his stardom. Yeah, it definitely was a win-win. But unfortunately, that's also where what happened to him out in Vegas.
Exactly. It's like the bad far outweighed the good, but just the whole vehicle of death row and everything put him in a good position. But just the fact that what it was, what I'm saying, was the same, mechanism that pretty much, I would say, led to his early passing. It was just the people he hung around and the gang shit that was involved in that. Because being from California, it's just that gang stuff. That shit is real. As far as it going from generation to generation to generation, not so much in the Bay, but I got family that's what they do.
Yeah, right. I mean, my wife, her family, she's from the West Coast. She's from Cali, and yeah, you're right. People grandfathers be banging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt. And your humble opinion, though, what you think happened to Tupac, though? What you think, really happened to him out in Vegas, if you want to talk about that?
Oh, that was strictly some gang shit. Okay, just imagine. Okay. When they beat up dude in the club, he won with the Crips. So just imagine his uncle is one of the major dudes in the, major dude in the Crips. So pretty much he got beat up. So he had no choice but to retaliate. So it's kind of like, oh man, it's like if you beat up one of them, they don't give a fuck who you is. They finna get you no matter what. So I think
right. We speak about Keefe D and Orlando Anderson, just in case people want to hear us say names. You know what I mean? This ain't nothing new. This been well documented. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what it was, they everybody got guns. High power assault rifles and everything. So they was already plotting when he got beat up. And with it being Pac, it's really more of really more of an issue because of who he was, And they, were being on the strip, and then Pac took off his bulletproof vest. It was, it was like, man, it was all bad. So I think, it was just strictly some gang retaliation.
So, True, I got another question for you, man. Where you was at, what was going through your mind when you first heard that Tupac was shot in Vegas and would later succumb to his injuries? What was popping?
Okay, when I first heard about this shit, everybody was like, Pac was gonna pull through. I never got a chance to go to the hospital and everything because everybody around me was like, oh man, Pac is cool. He gonna be cool. He gonna pull through. And so, I planned to go down there to the hospital and everything. And I think that day when he passed away, it was like I was going somewhere, and then I heard shed so many tears, and I just pulled over because I already knew. It was like, man. And then they just, said that, Pac passed away from his injuries, and it's like when they played the song before they said anything, it's like I already knew it was all bad.
Yeah.
It was on Friday, as a matter of fact. That same night, we went to KMEL studio to talk about Pac, on the radio. He was like, Shock G, they want you on the radio. He's like, man, they gonna have to come to me. They want to, whatever. They gonna have to come to me. I ain't coming to them. So that Friday night, we talked on the radio, and everybody had planned to go to Pac's funeral. I think it's gonna be like either Monday or Tuesday, whatever else. They had the funeral the next day, that Saturday. And what it was, Pac's mom was already having everything already pretty much arranged while, after his second surgery, when he came out and they took the lung out, when he, pretty much brain dead, his mother was already making arrangements. So when he passed away that Friday, they had the service the very next day.
Damn.
And that's something we had never heard of. Somebody passing away Friday and having a service the very next day. But his mother didn't want a big spectacle, whereas we all thought it was going to be this big, big extravagant service, and where it's going to be held at, because there's going to be so many people who want to come. In which, being a parent, I understand it now, but back then I'm like, that's crazy. How are you going to have a funeral the very next day when, as big as Pac was, he had so many fans and this and that and the third, but she had it the very next day.
Yeah, I mean, it took everybody, threw everybody through a loop. That's when you got the conspiracy starting, you know what I mean? Maybe Pac still here, why would his mom do that? It's just one of those things where I think people would never fully get closure. In closing. So what you got going on now, though? You still producing music?
Yeah, I got a lot going on. As a matter of fact, I got the book I'm working on. I got the book, Represent 93 book I'm working on. Also, I'm a filmmaker and a photographer also. So I do a lot of photography, work on a few films and everything. And for the book, I've been wanting to do this book for the longest time. So basically, in the book, they just tell you, how I met Pac and give you the whole story, as a matter of fact.
You want to shout out your social media? You want to plug your stuff like that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, okay, you can find me on Instagram at BIG_TRU. And on Twitter at BIG_TRU. Big True.
Big True. Anything you want to say to the people in closing, man?
Yeah, pretty much. I just try to keep Pac's legacy alive, man. He was so influential in everything that musical, you would think militant, historical. I mean, Pac was bigger than just the music. If you would sit and talk with Pac, Pac would talk for hours about just, Black Panther shit, militant shit that, nothing to do with music, just, life in general and, that kind of stuff. He had a lot planned. I mean, as far as movies and this and that, he had a lot planned, even back then. He just never got a chance to do everything he needed to do.